Okay, oh, you want a
Yes.
agenda here?
Yes.
Okay, let's call the meeting to order. Tiffany, can you please start with a roll call?
Yes. Matias Diano,
Here.
Alfredo Agredano,
Here.
Hector J. Tito Garcia, Alfredo Gutierrez, Minerva Villarreal,
Here.
Cordelia Flores, I did receive notice that she's running a little late, and Alfonso Maldonado.
Here.
Okay, you do have a quorum.
Okay, good. Okay, let's get started with the approval of the minutes from March 14, 2018. Can you please put them up on the screen?
Yes.
Make them just a little bigger, I can't quite see that.
Down at the bottom, right there.
There you go. Okay, that's good. Okay, let's scroll down. Okay, those are the right people.
Mhm.
Okay, that's good. Yeah, that's some voice opinion, Judge. Okay, I think I'd already read these. Go now. Okay, that's good. And Creation of Commission. Okay. And it was named already, right?
I'm sorry?
Has the naming already occurred? Have they already moved, put the plaque up?
I'm not sure if they've already put the plaque up. I do think that it
No?
came back to, I do think that council approved it.
Yeah, right.
Uh,
Okay, looks good to me. Everybody else?
Motion to approve.
Okay,
Second.
second?
Second.
Okay, all those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? Okay, motion carries. All right, public comments. No public comments? You sure you want to say anything? Okay, review of committee policy changes per ordinance. Okay, what is that?
So a little earlier this year, council passed an ordinance that is going to affect all city committees, including this one. There were four main points. Most of them are non-issues for us. One of them is fine. All of them were fine, but the main changes that occurred was one requirement that council instated was that all committees meet monthly. If they're not able to meet monthly, they need to request with the city manager's office not to meet, which for us, the committee is they only meet when you're assigned something from council, so it's not going to be a problem for us not to meet.
Okay.
The attendance policy did change. Currently, it's a 3 consecutive unexcused absences and somebody automatically forfeits their spot on the commission. Now, actually, it's 3 absences in any calendar year. Excused or unexcused, which is a little more restrictive, but it is something that we're gonna be, adopting.
So if you
moving
can't come
forward.
3 times, March, June, December, then you're out.
Right, and it does sound like you do forfeit your office if you miss 3 times in a calendar year.
Okay, but
And-
that is, we serve 3-year terms?
I believe 2 or 4, or I believe your term aligns with your council members. So when you're a council member,
Right, okay,
Turns out.
that makes sense.
right,
Okay.
and it'll reset at the new calendar, and that won't include any absences that we've missed to date because the ordinance was not in effect.
So
at
from
that
this
time.
point forward?
From this point forward,
was
yes.
wondering. No, you can sit there.
A third requirement is for all committees to be meeting at City Hall if possible, which is a non-issue since this
We're here
committee
now.
already does. And then the fourth requirement is for video and audio recording, which is why we're now on a new recording system. Our meetings are filmed and now they're going to be broadcast on YouTube. And I believe they're only going to be on YouTube for the duration of the retention period, which I think is 2 years.
Okay. So,
But those are
this is part of the Open Meeting Act. right? I mean,
Not part of the Open Meetings Act, it's a part of the new city policy that the
Okay.
council wanted
The ordinance, okay.
to stipulate, so.
Go ahead.
So nothing too major, the only one that is a little different is the attendance policy, which we haven't had issues with this committee's been very
Right,
present.
okay.
So no actions required on this.
Okay, thanks, Tiffany.
Mhm.
So that's item number 5. Item number 6, let's get down to discussion of the recommendations. So number 6 is discussion with possible action to consider the request of Councilman Torres to name the Laredo Police Substation on Springfield Avenue in memory of fallen police officer Pedro Ayala. Okay, so Mr. Ayala, when did he pass? And I don't think this is going to be a problem. Let's just find out a little bit about him.
Yes. So this was the biography that was sent to us by Councilmember Torres about Officer Ayala. It's a pretty short biography and it describes the actual incident.
Was he the first one to die? The first police officer? I mean,
That's a good question. I'm really not sure. I'd have to look that up. I'd be happy to find that for you.
well, I'm just asking. I don't think it's going to be a problem because, I mean,
1956, is that right?
1936.
36, oh, okay.
Yeah,
that was way
I'm
back.
just wondering, I don't think he was the first,
My-
but I'm just wondering why,
Oh, sorry, yeah.
why him and not everybody else? It's just out of curiosity.
I believe he is not the first. I think an officer did die in the line of duty previously, but I believe that officer is also already a namesake for some city facility or a city area.
Okay, well, how old is he? 28? Wow, he was young.
No, he served for 20
No, he
years.
served for 28 years.
Oh, he served for 28 years.
Yeah.
Doesn't say how old he was when he died?
No,
Um,
and I'm afraid I don't have any more information.
No, that's fine, that's
regarding
fine.
this, but
I'm sure this is,
it doesn't say
I'm sure this is
much.
well deserved. I mean, he worked for the police force and he
He
died in the
started-
line of
He
duty.
started in
1908.
1908.
In 1908, he started. So he must have been at least, what,
At least 20.
18 to start?
18 to 20.
18
Yeah.
or 20?
Maybe he was 46, 50 years old
So
around
he's
there.
about 50 years old.
Okay, so, let's go over the criteria real quick, because we said we're gonna do that with every naming, right? Okay, he is deceased or living, so number 2, admirable and honorable people. We don't know much about him, but he was a police officer and he does sound
Died in duty.
He gave
line
his
of
life.
duty, yeah.
When they discussed this item at the council meeting, I heard people say either wife or mother, but there was somebody representing him and they discussed him pretty much at length about him serving the city for a while, but I don't
Good.
know much more about that.
Okay, so recognize substantial contributions, that's not a problem. Avoid changing the name on a facility, not a problem. Avoid corporate names, not a problem. Okay, not elected official, require the completion of the commission proposal. Okay, so, I mean, we have a biography here, that's good enough. Consider the correlation between facility and the recommended name. So what are we gonna name the substation, right?
Right.
The substation in Springfield Avenue, okay?
It didn't have a name?
He does not have a name.
Okay.
Okay. And consider public opinion, nothing. Avoid individuals that have been convicted. Okay, so I think we're good here.
Mhm.
So, anybody want to make a motion?
I move that we accept the,
Okay, I have
I'll
a
say
motion, we have a second. All those in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, motion carries. Okay, congratulations to Officer Ayala and his family. Okay, number 7, discussion with possible action to consider the request by Commissioner Torres to rename the Eastwoods Park as the Arturo M. Benavides Senior Park. Another admirable individual. I don't think this is going to be a problem. I don't think we have to go through any of these criteria again, right?
No.
No.
I think we know who he is, and he was a pillar of the community, and very admirable and honorable person.
I move that we accept.
I
second.
have a motion, we have a second. All's in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? Motion carries.
Just one question, where's that Eastwood Park?
I don't know where that
it's
Eastwood
off
Park
of Clark. Before you get to Walmart on Clark,
Okay.
it's in that subsection.
Then, okay.
Oh.
Oh, you know what, I think I have seen it off of Clark Street.
Okay, so it's gonna be the Arturo M. Benavides Senior Park. No more eastwards, right? Okay, congratulations to the Benavides family and to Mr. Benavides. Number 8, discussion with possible action and consider the request by Councilman Vilma to rename the Taylor Ballpark located at 400 West Taylor to Dr. Ike's Ballpark. Possible presentation by Mr. Coronado Cruz. Is he here?
No, sir, he's not. We actually were not able to get a hold of Mr. Cruz, and Councilmember Vielma has been out of the office today, or she hasn't been by the office, and her administrative assistant is also out today, so unfortunately we weren't able to reach out to Mr. Cruz.
Who's Mr. Cruz?
He represents Rio Grande Lily.
Okay, okay.
And I
And that's
know
where
that-
they-
And that's where they play. That's where
And
the
he
seniors
had
play.
brought a presentation to the council meeting, but they were very pressed for time. It was the end of the night, and they asked him to perhaps try to give this presentation to the commission. However, we weren't able to reach him to coordinate with him. I'm not sure if he was aware of tonight's meeting. So I don't know if you wanted, and we didn't have a biography from him or for Dr. Ike otherwise. So I don't know if the commission wants to make a move today, or if you wanted to recommend,
That was coming, thank you.
if you wanted to meet another time or wait for Mr.
Okay.
Cruz's.
Well, let's see.
Whatever
He,
you
I know Ike Epstein, and I don't think it's gonna be a problem. I think I just had a concern about one of the criteria is not being met, and that was the
Corporate name.
the corporate names, right? Avoid using number
Number
5,
number
criteria number 5,
5.
right?
Yeah.
Avoid using the corporate names for permanent recognition. So,
Vamos a quitarle doctor.
I can.
I
Just
just
his name.
Ike's baseball.
yeah, so,
Ike Epstein.
so I think the recommendation back to the councilman would be that the committee discussed it, and we do feel that he meets all the criteria. He's admirable and honorable and everything else. And, but we should modify it to say Ike's Epstein Ballpark. Or they can pick Ike's Ballpark
Ike's ballpark, yeah.
or Epstein Ballpark. But just take the word doctor out, and that'll satisfy number 5. Everybody agree?
Yes.
Okay, so there will be no action in our part here, but it's something for Councilman Vilma to consider. And you know, when she,
Do we vote on this today?
I don't think we have to vote on it.
No.
So we're just discussing it, and then when it goes back to her, she'll, you know, consider a recommendation. And remember, the council doesn't have to take a recommendation, right? They can say, you know what, we're gonna keep it Dr. Ike's. Our job is just to
Yeah. Go through the.
go through the criteria.
Should follow the rules.
If something doesn't meet the criteria, we go back, recommend it to them. They can say, you know what, we're gonna make an exception, so. But it's based, I think we should maintain a somewhat strict, you know,
Criteria.
criteria, sense of the criteria here.
And that should be mentioned, that it's one of our criteria.
The Criteria number 5.
Or whatever it is.
And that when we created these criteria, we wanted to make it a short list and very simple. But we feel that if we do start naming facilities after companies, that it will become a slippery slope. And then all of a sudden, we have more than one councilman or woman naming companies versus people. So we are recommending that she reconsider that.
Okay. Did you want to put that recommendation in the form of a motion or simply?
I don't think we need to put it in form of a motion.
Okay.
Or we could say we,
Discussed it.
well, I don't think we should put it in form. We could say that we make a motion not to recommend it, but then it doesn't sound right. Like,
Well,
you
can we
know,
make a motion that we have no objection to Mr. Epstein, who's a very honorable
we
man?
already discussed it.
So that's it?
She's gonna put it in her notes.
Oh,
That's it.
Well, so we have no problem, but I do think you should put those words that I said, and that is, we want to keep an eye on that, at least on criteria number 5, to avoid, you know, councilman or woman, you know, using
the president.
corporate names for future facilities. It could get out of hand.
But can I just make a motion that we table this until we get the feedback from
From Ms. Bielma.
Okay.
Councilwoman them?
Okay? That's better.
Yeah.
Okay, so a motion to table item number 8, right? All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? Okay, so motion carries, so it's gonna get sent back to her, and you just give her the explanation, I'm sure she won't have a problem with it.
Don't we need a second before we,
Oh, I second. the
Oh,
motion.
I
He
thought
said-
maybe.
oh, I'm sorry.
Wonderful.
I'm sorry.
Okay, wonderful.
Okay,
Yes, sir.
so is that it?
That's
Was
it.
that the only one that was
Pending, yeah.
questionable? Yeah, that's good. All right, so move to adjourn.
Second?
Second? Okay, all those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed?
Thank you, everybody. I appreciate it. Thank you.